My brother and sister are both gay, so my dad's counting on me to carry on the family line. I did bring home a wife, a male one. My dad wanted to kill me, but when he saw my wife's slightly bulging belly, he put down his dragon. Heck king. Wait, is this fake? The family doctor confirmed. He's actually intersex. The old man smiled so creepily at my wife, his mouth practically drooling. My brother and sister are both gay, so my old man laid down the law. Only whoever gives him a grandson gets to inherit the family fortune. Otherwise he'd rather donate it all than give it to these damn gays. This was obviously directed at me, because my brother and sister already built successful businesses and achieved financial freedom. They broke free from family control. Only I tried copying them by investing. Lost everything. From then on, my dad imposed the strictest economic sanctions on me. Want money? Go find a girlfriend. I went crying to my siblings, and my brother said, the worst thing a rich kid can do is start a business. I asked, but aren't you a rich kid too? My sister said, that depends on having brains. You'd be better off just making the old man a grandson. I was only a high school freshman then. As long as I could carry on the family line, he didn't even care about me dating early. How insulting. Determined to show them what I could do. Are you answering with your toes? Man, they really roasted me. I started wondering if I was actually mentally challenged. I said, how about letting me study abroad? At least I could get a college degree, and we're not short on money. Mentioning this scared the old man half to death. Isn't overseas where men become women and women become men? Even plastic bags need their own gender category. My sister-in-law is someone my brother met while studying abroad. He hired 8 tutors to coach me. Swore he'd make me get into a domestic university. Where was this energy before? Still, I barely scraped into a local second-tier college. Compared to the top universities my siblings attended, I felt pretty bummed. He lived up to his name. You couldn't help but stare. I spent the whole class just watching him. Didn't hear a word the teacher said. The teacher told my family I wasn't paying attention in class. Just staring at one spot, grinning like an idiot and drooling. Why is this teacher tattling? Luckily my family didn't suspect anything, just reinforced their impression that I'm mentally challenged. Actually, when I started school, the old man already talked to the principal. Said he didn't care about my grades, just wanted me to bring home a girlfriend. Looks like I need to be more careful from now on. What if they make me drop out, and I can't see my roommate anymore? So I started writing love letters to the pretty girls in class. 2 of them started responding to my romantic advances, but they were roommates, and when they compared notes that night, they realized something was wrong. They both scratched my face up real good. The whole thing got reported to the advisor, and my parents were called. The advisor went quiet, probably thinking my condition was genetic. Little did he know my plan had already worked. The old man told me that when I meet a girl I like, I should definitely go for it, but only pursue one at a time. He even shared his wisdom on chasing women with me. He'll spend money. Spend big money. I shrugged casually. Give me money then. The old man wasn't bothered by my attitude. His eyes were full of joy anticipating his future daughter-in-law. With one wave of his hand, 5 million. I looked at my account balance and nodded with satisfaction. Wonder if the old man will want it back when he finds out the truth. After starting college, students were busy letting loose after years of exam pressure. Few actually paid attention in class. But my wife was one of those rare students. He always sat in the front row, following the teacher's explanations, while slowly filling his neat notebook with elegant handwriting. After class, he'd work part-time at the bubble tea shop next to school. In his spare time, he'd crouch in the corner by the dorm to feed the one-eared stray cat. His pale, Senda fingers would run through the fluffy orange fur. Excellent student, with really beautiful hands. Just one problem though. He thought my carefully crafted straight guy act to win him over was a symptom of mental illness. He was even scared I might hurt someone during an episode, so he asked the advisor to switch dorms. The advisor said based on his observations, I probably wasn't violent. Better not switch dorms for now. After all, my dad donated 20 million to renovate the sports field, because I was studying here. Can't take someone's money and then call their son mentally ill. That's not polite. Close call. Almost got kicked out by my wife. While he sat at his desk memorizing vocabulary, I made small talk. Did your parents name you Taoshen after the poem about peach blossoms? His writing hand paused, eyelashes fluttering slightly. He slowly turned his amber eyes to stare at me intensely. My name is none of your business. If I'm bothering you, young master, you could easily have me moved to another dorm. You can make that happen easily, can't you? My heart clenched. I was just asking about your name. I didn't mean anything bad by it. My roommate Wang Ming gave me a look and pulled me into the hallway. He quietly told me my wife was an orphan. Better not mention his parents in front of him. It makes him upset. During orientation, parents could help students move their stuff into the dorms and get everything settled before leaving. Every bed was surrounded by 3 to 5 people. It was pretty noisy. Only Taoshen sat alone on the edge of his bed, quietly watching the bustling crowd, all by himself. Wang Ming's mom, being nosy, blurted out, Where are your parents, kid? Tiaoshen had that same unfriendly expression. They're all dead. His mom felt guilty about it for ages afterward, kept telling Wang Ming to look after my wife at school. During this time, their relationship was the closest in our dorm. I looked Wang Ming up and down to pearly permed hair, about half a head shorter than me, maybe 5 OAF. Not exactly a heartthrob, but decent features and good proportions. Pretty cute guy. This is competition. I blurted out, do you like guys or girls? He stared at me in shock for a moment, then clutched his chest, defensively. Girls, obviously. Don't think you can do whatever you want just because you're rich. I'm not the type to sell my dignity for money. Where'd you? I really didn't have any good ways to get close to my wife. No choice but to phone a friend. I called my brother, and his first words were, don't you dare date a guy. The Shu family is counting on you to carry on the bloodline. Why should I? That's not fair, because I'm your brother. Study hard and stay out of trouble, or you'll be sorry. I'm 15 years younger than my brother. When he was dating my sister-in-law, I was still little. I was curious how 2 men could date each other. He just said true love doesn't care about gender. I'd understand when I grew up. Now I'm grown up. But he's forgotten how dad used to give him a hard time. I hung up and called my sister-in-law. My brother's being mean to me. Back then I didn't understand what true love meant. I was just curious why my usually cold brother would pursue my sister-in-law. He couldn't handle my pestering and said it was love at first sight, that she chased him relentlessly. Even when they got mugged abroad, she didn't hesitate to protect him. So it was my sister-in-law who chased my brother. Bah, I was more curious yet. When I met my sister-in-law later, under 5, clean, cut looks, spoke softly. I thought my brother was really awful. A 6'3" guy getting mugged and letting someone smaller stand in front of him. I instantly felt bad for my sister-in-law. So when the old man deliberately left my sister-in-law waiting outside, I rushed to bring him slippers. When the old man wouldn't let the staff get him utensils, I already had them ready for my sister-in-law. When the old man made snide remarks about my sister-in-law, seeing my brother hesitate, I slammed the table. How can you just let people talk about your lifesaver like that? Also, the old man turned all his fire on me. Broke 2 bamboo canes beating me. Clutching my nearly shattered butt, I told my sister-in-law, don't worry. Mom made him promise to take care of me. He won't dare kill me. I've got your back in this house. Being young, I didn't understand adult complications. I just felt it was the right thing to do. Dad locked me in my room and specifically told everyone not to let me watch those heroic anime shows anymore. Later, my brother decided to give up everything at home to be with my sister-in-law, but he still came home during holidays. I was always the first one to greet them. Our family's all cold and busy with work. My sister-in-law's busy too, but he always made time to spend with me. He'd hold my hand with that gentle smile. You protect me, I'll take care of you. Fair trade. During my school years, my sister-in-law with most of my parent-teacher conferences. Gradually, I learned the truth. It wasn't my sister-in-law chasing my brother. It was obviously my brother, who fell for my sister-in-law at first sight and turned gay. And that incident, he was the one who took a knife from my sister-in-law. That's what made my sister-in-law decide to be with him. He just wanted to look cool in front of me. Behind the scenes, he's totally whipped. I thought my brother would understand me better. Maybe I could even follow his path to win my wife. But now, don't blame your brother. He just wants you to have a normal, happy family and live happily ever after. How is being with someone you don't love and having a kid happiness? My sister-in-law was quiet for a moment, then chuckled softly. How does our little scatterbrain always get so wise at crucial moments? My sister-in-law said our family all has the same personality, stubborn and extreme. Once we find our target, we never give up. The more obstacles, the stronger we get. He didn't try to stop me, just warned me to always think about methods and approach, but don't do anything rash just because your crush is cold to you. Got it? He didn't oppose me pursuing Taoshen. He even helped me strategize. He was just worried I'd be too extreme, like my sister. Trapping Jingjing by his side without caring about anything else. It was ugly back then. Even today. My sister says, hate or love. She doesn't care. She just wants him by her side. But does she really not care? When she sits in the yard at night, smoking cigarette after cigarette, eyes bloodshot, refusing to sleep. What's she thinking about? The Bible says love is patient and kind. Without my sister-in-law having to tell me, I can keep being patient. I want the person I like to be happy. My sister-in-law told me to start with my wife's interests and hobbies. Wang Yang was closest to my wife in the dorm. But Wang Yan's got issues. I wanted him to ask my wife about his hobbies or favorite things. He said, I'm straight. Even if you try hard to get close to my friend, I won't like you. Don't waste your energy. Why? Whatever. I had to secretly follow my wife during club recruitment. All the clubs were promoting in the activity building. Soon as I walked in, 3 or 4 upperclassmen introducing their clubs. I wasn't interested at all. Only clubs my wife joined would be good clubs. So many people came to the event today. After pushing through the crowd, I realized my wife had disappeared. When I found him, he was standing in front of the photography club's poster. A guy with a camera was explaining things to him. This guy was tall and thin with shoulder-length hair that made him look super artistic. He talked about composition and colors while showing off his past work. His stare was thick, burning, and uncomfortable. I knew exactly what he was doing. He liked my wife and was spreading his peacock feathers to court her. When I came to school, my dad told me to keep a low profile. But the moment I saw my wife, I threw dad's advice out the window. Only one thought crossed my mind. Show off. Show him my best side. My dad's name is Hayu Xingban. You can find him on Baidu. You can check it out. Then my wife just rolled his crystal-like eyes at me. Never gave me a kind look again. But, faced with this guy showing off, my wife just turned his head away. Would you consider joining my club? Or being my model? The desire in his eyes practically wanted to devour my wife on the spot. Can I really be a model? Of course, my wife isn't tall, but his proportions are perfect. A perfect looks plus superior bone structure, absolutely flawless. I don't even know how many secret photos of him I have on my phone. He just doesn't seem to care about his appearance. Gets his hair cut at that $10 place by the school gate. The short buzz cut makes him look younger than he is. His collar's all stretched out from washing, like an unpolished gym. I took a picture of you when you were standing over there. You're very photogenic. The guy used showing my wife the photo as an excuse to get really close to him. My wife looked at the camera while he stared hard at my wife. I was getting angry. What excuse could I find to fight this guy? I was thinking about it. Thankfully, my wife turned him down. My roommate and I already agreed to check out the basketball club. Basketball club? Perfect. I'm really good at that. Finally, I could shine in front of my wife. But that nutcase Wang Ming jumped out again. Shurai, yo, joining the same club. That's me. I only came to basketball club because of my wife. Now, what's he blabbering about in front of my wife? I looked at my wife with hurt feelings, hoping he wouldn't believe Wang Ming's crazy talk. My wife just glanced at me casually, then turned around to practice dribbling. Completely indifferent. That hurt even more. Since we just joined, the captain held a skills assessment game to see what level we freshmen were at. My wife had no basketball experience and sat on the sidelines as a spectator. I deliberately joined the team opposite Wang Ming. Crush him. Show my wife. When Wang Ming had the ball, I defended him tight. When Wang Ming was defending, I broke through repeatedly. Even after dunking, I hung on the rim looking down at him. Pretty cool, right? My wife could see me now, right? When I landed and looked back, my wife was indeed watching us with bright eyes, both hands properly placed on his knees. With his short hair, he looked like an elementary student listening carefully in class. So cute. I raised my right hand toward him in victory. The whistle blew, charging foul. My victory gesture became a foul acknowledgement. Embarrassed myself in front of my wife again. Still, didn't stop me from being the strongest rookie among all the freshmen. The upperclassmen gathered around praising me. You can be a starter in this year's college basketball league. I don't care about being a starter or not. I just want to hear my wife praise me. I ran up to my wife in big strides. How did I play? You're amazing. My wife was still sitting there, looking up at me from below. He didn't hold back his praise. From this angle, my wife's eyes looked bigger and his face smaller. With his white skin, he looked like a cute bunny. The basketball in my arms seemed mesmerized too. It slipped out of my arms and dropped to the ground, bounced into my wife's arms. I froze for a moment, about to reach for it. That nutcase Wang Ming jumped out again. Shurai! You were deliberately targeting me on the court, weren't you? Wow, he figured it out. Yeah, I did it on purpose. Think these childish tricks can get my attention. I'm not falling for it. He grabbed his clothes and walked away. Didn't even give me a chance to argue back. I squeezed my water bottle until it crackled, quickly explained to my wife. I don't feel that way about him. Seeing my embarrassment, my wife actually laughed. I know. This was the first time he ever smiled at me. Does he like me too? I grinned widely. Do you know who I like? As soon as I said it, he looked down, then became cold and distant again. No idea. My wife picked up his half-finished water bottle, went to join the group. He clearly knows. I could only do what I always did. Silently follow behind him. Wondering why Wang Ming could naturally chat with my wife. While I had to think for ages before saying anything to him, he could even pat my wife's head after he made a shot to show praise. I bit my cheek and touched my own hair in frustration. Ever since I found out my wife got his hair cut at that $10 place, I got the same haircut as my wife. The coarse hair scratched my palm. I thought it would help the itch, but the more I scratched. Why doesn't he like me? Patience seemed like such a hard thing. Wang Yang's grandma passed away. He took me to go home for the funeral and won't be back until day after tomorrow. The other roommates went to the internet cafe together. Tonight it's just me and Tao Tian in the dorm. I rubbed my palms together nervously, but secretly looked forward to our alone time. Time passed by minute. It was almost curfew. My wife still hadn't come back. I looked out the window worriedly. The light drizzle seemed to be getting heavier. Called 3 or 4 times, but no one answered. No idea where he was. I grabbed an umbrella, ready to go look for my wife. Just as I reached the dorm door, I saw my wife with that photography club guy. In the falling rain, 2 people squeezed under a somewhat cramped umbrella. That guy held the umbrella with one hand, his other arm around my wife's shoulder, seemingly just to keep him from getting wet. My temples throbbed. I rushed out in an instant. Pushed him away. Who the hell said you could touch him? We're about the same height, but I work out playing ball year round. Compared to his skinny limbs, my bulging muscle stood out clearly. I was obviously going to win. But our referee was biased. He favored that coward who grabbed his umbrella and ran. He pulled back my arm that was about to swing and told that guy to go back first. I'll call you when I figure things out. Why? What don't I have compared to him? Looks, family background, or what? Just because he's better at taking photos. He dragged me by the arm back to the dorm. The moment he closed the door, I couldn't help but, he had his back to me, organizing his bag that got half soaked by the rain, completely ignoring my emotional breakdown. Aren't you going to explain? He sat down and looked at me with a calm expression. Do I need to explain anything to you? Right? Technically, I'm just his regular roommate. No need to explain anything to me, but that's not how things work. Love or hate, I don't care. As long as you stay by my side. I think I understood what my sister meant. I reached up and locked the door. Give me an explanation. I pinned him down on the bed, held Tao Tian's chin, making him look directly at me. He doesn't like to smile, even seems cold. Not just to me, that's his attitude toward everyone except Wang Yang. At first I thought Wang Yang was a rival, competition, someone he liked. After careful observation, I realized it wasn't love. It was envy. He would casually sit next to Wang Yang. When Wang Yang video called home, whenever the camera accidentally caught him, he'd pretend to casually respond to Wang Yang's mom's warmth. Nothing much to say, just asking how his studies were going, how he was eating, if part-time work was too hard. Someone who didn't like talking much would carefully answer everything then. He seemed to be imagining a mother's love for him. Strong yet fragile, growing up all alone, pitifully trying to get a little bit of love from someone else's mother. It was heartbreaking to watch. I could only try asking, actually, I can give you lots of love too. Wanna try? He lived tough. Faded clothes, cracked phone screen he couldn't afford to replace, and the part-time jobs he rushed to after class all showed how tight money was. But faced with the latest phone I put by his bed, he held it up high in front of everyone. Don't put your stuff on my bed. People might think I stole it. I quickly explained I gave one to everyone. You weren't back from work, so I wanted to leave it on your bed as a surprise. Just keep it, no need to feel bad. Unlike just handing it to the others. Only his had a note I wrote, with a pretty ball on the box. I don't need it. I didn't dare chase him openly. Could only carefully test the waters over and over. He said he liked girls. One sentence dragged me to rock bottom. I didn't dare do anything more, afraid he'd hate me. Teaching him basketball, going to class with him, walking behind him, stealing glances at his back. That was my long patience in love. I thought it was, because I'm a guy that it wasn't okay. But what about now? He can walk with that guy, but I can't. What was all my patience for? Like a joke. I kissed him almost savagely. The beautiful wrists I never dared touch before were in my hands. The cherry red lips I dreamed about day and night were in my mouth. Like a wild dog that hadn't eaten in weeks, frantically devouring. Love or hate, I don't care. As long as you stay by my side. In that moment of gasping, I saw tears rushing from his eyes, staining them red. He overlapped with the memory. Sitting in the transparent glass greenhouse, smiling at me under the bright colorful flowers. But everywhere was the bright red blood from his slit wrists. You couldn't tell if the flowers were redder or the blood. It was like a giant hand gripped my heart. I suddenly realized I did care. I do care. I'm afraid he'll hate me. More afraid he'll use the most extreme way to get back at me. I'm afraid he'll do the same thing as Jingjing. Sorry. Before doing anything more outrageous, I ran out of the dorm like I was escaping. How long are you crashing at my place? My sister sounded annoyed. Sister-in-law and brother went abroad on vacation. I don't want to interrupt their romantic time, more than my sister. I wanted to talk to Jingjing. Wanted to know what she really felt about my sister. No way. She's emotionally unstable lately. My sister blew out smoke, tossed me a stack of papers. Show this to Tao Tian. He'll naturally stay far away from that Chen Shu. I flipped through the papers and couldn't help cursing. Disgusting. This Chen Shu's family was in jewelry business, well off. Always formed cliques in school since childhood. Bullied honest students from ordinary families. And his beloved photography was just a byproduct of his sick hobby. What he loved photographing most was disgusting flesh. Shill screams. Back in high school, there was a girl who was bullied by their little clique. Because of the explicit video she filmed that got leaked, she couldn't handle the humiliation and jumped off a building. So when he said he wanted to film Tao Tian, you can imagine what he meant. I quickly got up, afraid that if I was even a second late getting back, Tao Tian would already fall for it. My sister called out to me. Do you know what it means to date that boy? I know. Being with him means I'll give up my inheritance, become a broke nobody. I don't have my siblings' abilities. It means I can only work hard for a tiny paycheck. But I want to choose this kind of life. Simple but happy, like Wang Yang's parents. Together with Tao Tiao, with the person who made my heart skip a beat the first time I saw him. My sister looked at me like she was thinking about something. She pressed her unfinished cigarette into the ashtray. As long as you're happy, and said nothing more. When I got back to the dorm with that stack of documents, Tao Tian was packing his stuff. Where are you going? Tao Tian looked up at me, seeming surprised I was back now. How come you're back?
My mind was racing.
Is she still mad at me? Does he not want to live with me anymore? So he's moving out. Is he gonna live alone, or with Chen Shu? I'm dropping out, he suddenly said. He pointed to my bed. I know you've always looked out for me. I thought you weren't coming back, so I put the gift on your bed. Hope you don't mind. A cute, looking but actually grumpy social media bunny, just like Tao Jiang. Looks harmless on the surface, but actually has a bad temper inside. But I don't dare complain about my wife to her face. I always hear you mention it. Thought you'd like it. So I bought it for you. My wife doesn't get my little gestures, just looks at me with those innocent big eyes, using his rare good attitude for saying goodbye. I held onto the bunny and wouldn't let go. I grabbed my wife's hand and wouldn't let go either. I need to know why he's leaving. Yesterday when it rained, I accidentally scraped someone's car parked on the street. The repair will cost at least 200,000. I can't afford it. His tone was very light, taking something that could change his fate and telling it to me like it was nothing. When that guy wouldn't let me go, Chen Shu helped me out. He said he could help me pay it back. But what? But I'd have to date him and be his nude model. My wife packed up his few belongings. Actually, I was tempted, but then I saw I really became his nude model. I probably couldn't stay at this school either. Might as well drop out and work. Keep some dignity. I'll pay it back for you, I said firmly. I put those documents in front of him. He's not a good person. I can help you pay it back. In exchange, what do you want? His hand stopped moving. He stared straight at me. That look made my heart go cold. The words, I want to be your boyfriend, turned into, be your best friend. Tao Jiang stopped refusing my con. He'd wear the clothes I bought him. He'd use the phone I bought him. His meal tray finally had more than just pathetic potato strips and bowl of vegetables, and a bowl of free seaweed soup. I naturally took care of all his needs. He'd often lower his eyes and thank me. In return, he'd help me organize my notes. Before exams, he'd explain the stuff I missed, because I was too busy staring at him. That idiot Wang Yang finally figured it out. So the person you like is Tao Qiao. Why didn't you say so earlier? You scared me to death. Don't talk nonsense. We're just good friends, I said righteously, worried that news of me liking boys would reach Grandpa's ears. Tao Qiang lowered his eyes, his slender pale fingers curling slightly, gripping the hem of his shirt. Let's go. There's a class dinner today. Don't be late. There was a sadness in his voice that I couldn't pinpoint the source of, like he was sulking. He didn't say a word to me the whole way. I gently nudged his waist with my elbow. He acted like he didn't feel it, giving me no response. He even deliberately sat across from me before dinner started. For this gathering, the class president specially found a round table that could seat 30 people. He was so proud of himself, bragging to everyone about how great this big private room he found was, but I just wanted to tear apart his chattering mouth. Why find such a big private room? With everyone watching, it was hard for me to get through the crowd to sit next to my wife. I've been taking good care of my wife. His buzz cut grew out and was permed into fluffy curls. A light blue shirt as an undershirt with a loose white sweater over it, like a little prince from an anime. With just a little dressing up, he looks better than the girls in our class. Pure as hell. This kind of change is hard for others to ignore. Lately I've been guarding against both guys and girl. On one hand regretting that I dressed my wife up too well, making him too attractive. On the other hand feeling that my wife deserves the best naturally, pretty and beautiful. I was scratching my head in frustration when the girl sitting next to my wife already started pinching his face. Tao Tian, you're so cute. Wow, you're so adorable. I can't help but want you to be my wife. Why don't you think about it? This girl always calls everyone in class wife, calling this one wife, that one wife, saying it's just how girls show affection. Now she's calling Tao Tian wife too. Is he your wife? What gives you the right to call him that? But my wife doesn't like being touched by others. He'll definitely brush off a hand, like he used to do to me, then give her a cold look. I was ready to enjoy watching that girl get rejected by my wife. My wife smiled sweetly. Okay. He raised his glass and clinked it with hers. My wife never drinks. Glass after glass, he and that girl kept drinking together. His cheeks flushed red, smiling like some enchanting siren. I can't take this anymore. I'm about to explode. I followed my wife when he went to the bathroom, grabbed him around the waist, and dragged him into a taxi to go home. I bought an apartment nearby. I knew that after being with my wife, I'd definitely get kicked out by the old man, so I started working part-time with my wife to get used to being self-sufficient. After work, we'd come to the apartment together, curl up on the couch watching TV, cooking, complaining about people we met, then rush back before dawn curfew. I called this place home. Mine and his home. He was unusually quiet in the car, leaning against me without saying a word. I thought he'd fallen asleep. When I carried him upstairs and put him on the bed, I realized this guy's eyes were wide open, staring at me. You did that on purpose. Even dense as I am, I understood he was intentionally teasing me. I pounced on him and tickled his sensitive spots. He's most afraid of being tickled. Twisting his body to avoid the tickling hands gradually turned into something else, caressing his slender waist and rising chest. I leaned close to his ear, gently touching his earlobe with my lips. You've fallen for me too, haven't you? I want to tell you a secret. The alcohol on his breath stirred my nerves. Without thinking, I swallowed the secret he was about to reveal. 天哪. I wanted this for so long, but I was scared that all his feelings for me were just because I helped him pay off that debt. I want him to love me too. Bit by bit, I traced every inch of his skin until I undid his belt. That's when I saw his secret. I looked up to meet his cold smile. If you think it's too weird, we don't have to do this. He thought I'd be disgusted by him. I'd never seen someone with both sets of reproductive organs before. He thought this would be a reason for me not to love him. I held him tight. Silly, I love you. I'll never abandon you. If I ever become broke, you can't abandon me either. He didn't answer, just pulled my neck down and kissed me. I took that as agreement. I want to come clean to Grandpa. My sister stopped me. Grandpa just had heart surgery. Wait until he's recovered more before you tell him. And that kid, Tao Qiang, you two should spend more time getting to know each other. Getting to know what? You have no idea how perfect we are together. I rubbed my hands together, thinking of my wife beneath me. My ears couldn't help but start burning. I wanted to go find my wife again. My sister rolled her eyes and didn't want to deal with me anymore. Pathetic. Show some restraint. Today is Grandpa's birthday. Lots of people came to celebrate. It really wasn't the right time to confess. I hid in a corner, afraid Grandpa would drag me over to interrogate me. Every time I come home, he asks if I've gotten a girlfriend lately, what I've been doing at school. I just vaguely say studying is hard, part-time work is tiring, but I really like the school atmosphere. The pressure of lying is really intense. I wanted to hide, but Grandpa insisted on dragging me out, had someone call me over to introduce me to the girl beside him. This is Wen, Uncle Pan's daughter. She's been living with her mom in the hometown. This year, she also got into school here. You two are about the same age. You should have plenty to talk about. My mind raced. That Uncle Pan has been married 4 times, right? Which wife is this one from? Well, business hasn't been good these past few years, so he's using his ex-wife kid to climb up the social ladder. Shameless. He's trying so hard to marry into our family. I'd already met his other daughter before. In high school, she was already smoking, wearing makeup, going clubbing, acting one way in front of Grandpa, and another way in private. It wasn't until I showed Grandpa videos of her partying that Grandpa quietly gave up on that idea. When that one didn't work out, he brought over a more innocent one. But I'm a man with a wife. I just nodded perfunctorily. Grandpa was already raising his dragon. Head king, take your sister for a walk around the garden, or I'll break your legs. So cool. Pan Wen and I walked one after the other on the garden's stone path. She seemed uncomfortable in high heels, walking even more carefully on the stone path. I pointed ahead. If your feet hurt, let's sit in the pavilion. What's Karai studying? Her voice was like a mosquito buzzing, and when she spoke, her fingers kept picking at the rhinestones on her dress. She was probably forced to come here by her dad too. You don't need to make small talk with me. I have someone I like. We can just go through the motions until it's time to go back. Pan Wen breathed a sigh of relief and smiled like she'd been pardoned. After returning to school, I asked about Grandpa's health almost every day. Grandpa just stopped me working part. Time was a good thing. Learning that money doesn't come easy, understanding how to be grateful to parents. I was counting the days, planning to confess before the break. I didn't want to leave my wife alone in an apartment, all by himself, so pitiful. While handing out flyers at the mall, someone tapped my back. It was Pan Quan. She jumped up and wrapped her arms around my neck. Half her body weight was pressing on me. Long time no see. I heard you went on a blind date with my sister last week. How'd it go? Didn't like her. I like that type. Why is she always so inappropriate? I angrily shook off her hand and looked up. My wife was standing behind us to the side, watching us coldly. He hadn't looked at me like that in a long time. He must have heard. I wanted to explain, but he immediately lowered his eyes, keeping his gaze within 3 inches. Then when he looked up again, his amber eyes had no negative emotions at all. Just a faint smile, handing a flyer to the next passerby. He doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. So then he grabbed me by the collar and demanded to know who this girl is and what she means by blind date. Whether I'm fooling around with someone behind his back. Not being this calm, like stagnant water. Out of spite, I didn't explain, and didn't curl up on the couch with him after work like usual. I suppressed my restless heart, waiting for him to ask me, but he acted like nothing was wrong. Curling up alone on the couch, wrapped, fiddling with the remote in his hands, turns on the travel show he's been following. Like it doesn't matter if I'm here or not, his life would keep going just as steady and routine. He loves me. Once that thought pops up, it's like a seed that sprouts instantly, growing thick in just seconds, making me feel hurt. Why don't you ask me who that girl was at the mall today? Why should I ask? Why? Because you love me. Seeing someone else get close to me would make you mad, make you jealous, make you sad, just like me. But how can I say something like that myself? I grab my jacket and head for the door. You don't even care about me. I slam the door really loud to show how angry I am. I walk really slow, dragging my feet down the stairs, kicking rocks by the building entrance, telling myself I'm not being petty. That if my husband comes down, I won't be mad anymore and will go home with him. The elevator brings down several groups of people, none of them my husband. I stand outside, looking up at the familiar bright window on the 15th floor. I lower my standards to just wanting him to look out the window at me, and I'll go home. But nothing. If he hadn't scraped that sports car, would we never have gotten together? He won't come to me. Feeling pretty down, I start walking away, along the edge of the curb. Wandering aimlessly for 4 or 5 miles before sitting down on the roadside. Was I right though? There were so many people at the mall, and my husband's always been shy. How could he make a scene with me in front of everyone? This whole time I've been waiting for him to ask me, never bothering to explain. And when I got home, instead of explaining things clearly, I threw a fit at him and stormed out. Either way you look at it, I'm acting like someone who got caught cheating. I slapped myself hard across the face. Damn it, what the hell am I doing? I turn around and run home as fast as I can. I was gonna buy my husband a little cake to bring back, but I left in such a rush. Forgot my phone. I'll make it up to my husband tomorrow. When I get to the door, it's slightly open. I definitely slammed it shut. Did my husband come out looking for me? I walk inside, feeling a bit nervous. The TV's still playing that variety show. My husband's blanket is bunched up on the couch. My husband has good habits. Always puts things back where they belong. Folds blankets neatly when he's done. Especially careful about electricity. Always turns off the TV and AC when leaving. He didn't go out. I call out for my husband. Check each room. He's not here. He's not even saving electricity anymore. My husband really doesn't want me back. Panicking, I look for my phone to call my husband. My phone shows several missed calls from my sister. She left a message saying the old man found out, already sent people to get Tao Yao. My heart settles a bit. At least it's not that my husband doesn't want me. I was planning to come clean to the old man anyway. I touch my husband's blanket still on the couch. It's still warm, so I quickly head downstairs to drive after them. Perfect chance to explain everything to the old man. I remember to apologize to my husband. Heading west, the buildings fade away. This isn't the way to my family's place. Last time in the rain I couldn't find him, so I put a tracker in the new phone I gave him. Seeing how desolate it's getting, I call my sister. What's the old man trying to pull? Playing gangster to scare my husband. Don't blame me if I lose it. Well, the old man's people came up empty. I thought you and Cao Yao were hiding somewhere. It wasn't my dad. Even if my husband wanted to break up with me, he wouldn't leave doors open and TVs on to run off to the suburbs at night. My sister seems quicker than me. You follow them. Don't do anything rash before I get there with backup. My hands shake on the steering wheel as I ask myself, why did I have to storm off like that? Following the tracker, I arrive at an abandoned factory in the western suburbs. My husband's phone is dropped by a van parked on the roadside. There are drag marks in the weedy ground. I look at the lights not far from the compound, open my trunk, and grab the camping shovel my husband and I used. Peeking through a crack, I see they've cleared a space in the abandoned factory with a huge mattress in the center. Cameras set up around it. In the middle of the mattress is my husband, hands and feet tied, his mouth bruised and swollen, clearly been hit. 8 or 9 guys standing around, staring at my husband with bad intentions. Chen Shu walks up to him, grabs my husband's chin. Should have taken the easy way. I've never seen someone like you before. No wonder that your kid treats you like treasure. If you'd come with me earlier, I could have treated you like treasure too. But now it's too late. He turns around. Wang, don't say I'm not a good friend. You can go first. My sister said not to do anything rash before she gets here. I know I don't stand a chance alone. But that's my husband lying there. A man from the Shu family doesn't just watch his husband get hurt right in front of him. Even if it means die, I grip the shovel tight and kick open the rusty door. I don't waste words. Go straight for Chen Shu first. It's chaos, blood everywhere, some mine, some theirs. I might die, but I have to hold out until my sister gets here with help. After I die, will my husband still remember me? I want him to remember how good I was to him forever. He was all alone before. He should forget me and meet someone who's good to him, who won't lose his temper and leave him alone. Someone needs to be with him. The gash on my head from the camera stand bleeds more and more, blurring my vision. I can't help falling down. I turn my head toward my husband. So beautiful, but don't cry. My sister will be here soon. Before I totally black out, I think I hear my sister's voice. My husband is saved. I broke 2 ribs. 17 stitches, from forehead to brow, plus various cuts and bruises I can't name, and some holes that got patched up. Where's my husband? My dad snorts. First thing you do when you wake up is ask for your husband. What else would I do? I don't expect the old man to say anything nice. So I look at my brother and sister-in-law. My sister-in-law says gently, he's in the next room. Don't worry, why is he in a hospital room too? I remember he just had some scrapes. Getting anxious, I try to get up. Where is he hurt? I need to see him. He's a month pregnant. Got scared. Some bleeding. Needs to stay for observation. I'm so shocked I can't speak. My mind goes blank. I thought that was just something a bit different. Never thought it could actually make babies. What does my husband think? Will he accept this unexpected child? Now I'm even more anxious to see my husband. My sister-in-law can't stop me. So she and my brother help me go see my husband. My sister's in my husband's room, talking to him about something. I can tell my husband's not happy. But the moment he turns and sees me, his face lights up. Not that polite, restrained, faint smile, but bright, radiant, like a sunflower, chasing the sun. Please don't be mad at me. I really know I was wrong. I apologized to him, explained to him. Feel guilty for not being careful and getting him accidentally pregnant. I love him. I hope we can stay together. For a very, very long time, I thought it would take him forever to forgive me. But he hooks my own ninja Pinky. Yeah. Pinky promised 100 years no change. Chen Shu and his gang got sent to prison. Besides kidnapping my husband, they dug up plenty of other cases. Multiple victims came forward. Didn't even need evidence. He had recordings of everything at his place. Organized by date, filed neatly. Actually saved the cops a lot of work. The case was so bad, so many victims, it made headlines. People were outraged. Even the Chen family businesses took a major hit, stores closing left and right. Of course, my brother and sister helped push things along. The Shu family always protects our own. As for me and my husband, we had a perfect wedding abroad. Wang Yang was my husband's maid of honor. I'll never forget the look on Wang Yang's face when she saw my husband's belly. And I'll never forget my husband's firm "I do" at the wedding. I'll love and protect him till the end of my life. Peach blossoms bloom, bright and beautiful. He's really trying to make me sound good. My Ayao means hoping I'd die young, wishing me dead. That was my mother's curse after I was born. She didn't love me. To her I was just a tool to climb the social ladder. But I turned out disabled, neither male nor female. Disgusting. Her name was Tao Yufen. She was a dancer. At 19 she hooked up with a coal boss, the rich man she'd always dreamed of. The man promised if Tao Yufen could give him a son, he'd divorce his wife and marry her. Tao Yufen gave it everything, wanting to strike it rich. The day Tao Yufen gave birth to me, someone died at the man's mine. Rich people are superstitious, so he got a fortune teller to do some ritual. The guy asked if his mistress had a baby today. Said if he brought this child home, he'd be going downhill for the rest of his life until he was broke. The man called and asked. Tao Yufen had indeed given birth, but when he asked for details, Tao Yufen got evasive. The man drove to the hospital to see for himself. Found out Tao Yufen had a freak that was neither male nor female. No wonder it would curse him. The man threw some money at her, told her to take me and get lost. The farther the better. Tao Yufen's dream of marrying rich was shattered. She hated me, hated that I wasn't a proper boy. Dumped me with my grandparents in the countryside. A whole murder case, all blamed on a baby in swaddling clothes. So I'm called Tao Yao. Might as well die young. Why drag others down? Village gossips talk a lot. I knew my story from childhood. Some kids would even make up songs to mock me, calling me a little monster nobody wanted. I'd cry and scream that my mama loved me. You want what you don't have. I'd fight them with my tiny body, getting beaten up every time. But I kept struggling. I don't know what I was defending about Qiao Yufen, who I'd never met, or what I was defending about myself. A volunteer teacher felt sorry for me, shared half his snacks with me. Under the big tree, he told me knowledge changes destiny. If life gets too painful, work hard and study. Get out. There's a bigger sky out there. Soon after, he transferred away. I don't know where he went. Probably to that bigger sky he talked about. I just remember knowledge changes destiny. Someday, I'll see it too. I drew nutrition from barren soil. First in town, first in county, first in city. Step by step, I worked my way out collecting scraps, poverty aid, and my grandparents' meager savings. When I finished middle school, my grandparents wanted me to quit and work. Go to an electronics factory down south, since Li Jiu next door sends home 3,000 a month now. I got on my knees and kowtowed to them. I said, 3,000 isn't much once I get into college. I can send them 30,000 a month, not letting me go to school. Saka. Could I really send 30,000? I don't know. I was lying. I just wanted to study. After all, I'm Tao Yufen, and that man's kid. What good could I be? I got into the best high school in the city. That year I met Wei Ming. A ray of light suddenly shone into 16 years of darkness. Never having looked up at the sky before, I thought that was the sun. We went to class together, studied together, ate together. He said I was his best friend. In the quiet nights, I started dreaming of the future. Senior year, round after round of practice tests wore everyone down. But I found my groove in those stacks of study materials. The 100-day countdown was my battle cry. Knowledge changes destiny. I can definitely use my own hard work to break the curse I've carried since birth. Wei Ming was a bit envious. You're really amazing. My dad spent so much on tutoring fees to get me these grades. Not like you, getting first place so easily. I spread out the math test paper from the practice exam in front of him, ready to explain that difficult problem he couldn't solve. Don't say that. You're really good too. If we keep it up a bit longer, maybe we can get into the same college. I want you to stay with Wei Ming forever. Wei Ming showed a mysterious smile, put away the test paper I'd spread out. Let's go to my house to study. Spacious, bright, and clean, such a stark contrast to Grandma's cramped little house. I was always grateful that someone like Wei Ming was willing to be my friend. I ate the food plate the housekeeper had cut up. So sweet. If I work hard enough, I can definitely live this kind of life and own a house like this. But fate said I didn't deserve it. The police found me, saying Wei Ming's family had lost a jade necklace worth 150,000, enough to crush me in the mud, never to rise again. I didn't steal it, but that necklace showed up in the rarely open compartment of my backpack. In the principal's office, Wei Ming's dad chatted and laughed with the principal. Wei Ming's mom walked past me in heels. They said students with my kind of character should be expelled. They asked when this kid's parents would finally show up. The homeroom teacher served tea and cautiously pleaded. The necklace was found after all. Maybe we don't need to pursue this. I rushed forward and punched Wei Ming hard. Why are you framing me? I don't steal things, especially not Wei Ming's things. I took a hard slap from Wei Ming's dad. Stealing and then hitting people? You little punk. Believe me, I'll kill you. But when Grandpa and Grandma came in, Wei Ming's dad went quiet. He knew them. Grandpa and Grandma were so old, seeing them kneel together in the office was too much even for the principal. I had such good chances of getting into a top university. What should I do? I guess I had to bend my back, soften my knees, and kneel before Wei Ming to apologize. Let me go to school. I shook his arm, hoping he'd take pity on me. Maybe my heartbreaking tears hurt Wei Ming's conscience. He said maybe when he was putting away books, he accidentally got the necklace mixed up in his backpack. I wasn't wrong. I just saw the situation clearly. I hated Wei Ming. Why did he treat me like this? When leaving that day, I saw his dad slap him at the end of the hallway. After that day, both Wei Ming's and my grades started declining. I was labeled a thief, pointed at by everyone. But what about him? Why? The girl who suddenly appeared beside him answered my question. Tao Yufen back then used her pregnancy to harass that man's wife with nasty words. My mom was pregnant too, just didn't know it. If it wasn't for your mom, my mom's health wouldn't be ruined from the miscarriage, and my little brother would be standing here. And Wei Ming called that woman aunt. These rich people have enough time and energy to hunt their prey. Tao Yufen was no match for her mom, and I was no match for Wei Ming. The friendship from the start was all an elaborate lie. Just a butcher having second thoughts when raising the knife. Should I hate him or be grateful? The sky started drizzling, as gloomy and uncertain as my life. It would have been better if Tao Yufen never had me. With my teacher's hopes pinned on me, I only got into a very ordinary college. But I didn't have the courage to stay another year and fight all that malice coming from every direction. It would kill me. I met Xu Rui. A rich guy. Tall, handsome, born with a silver spoon, loved as a matter of course. The kind of rich guy who could go crazy at school and teachers wouldn't dare say a word. Annoying and disgusting. Just because I was born in the mud, does that mean I deserve to be trampled on? I was angry and resentful, but helpless. I hated rich people, but he was especially attentive to me. But I knew the price of candy was too high for someone poor, like me. I looked at this world from my humble perspective, like drowning in a sea of suffering. I peeked at the light in this world, spying on Wang Yang's parents and Wang Yang's life. That was candy I didn't have to pay for. I often wondered, if I had parents like that, brothers like that, what kind of life would I have? But there are no what-ifs in this world. Someone born cursed should be alone. Shuri said he didn't have a mom either. His mom died when he was very young. No one really looked after him as a kid. Later his brother married his sister-in-law. She's like a mother to him, especially since she's 18 years older. Old enough to be his mom. He told me excitedly that I'd definitely like her when I meet her. Ridiculous. Why would I meet her? Until a handsome young man in a light brown suit sat down across from me. Hello, I'm Sang Yang. I'd like to talk with you. I was a bit surprised when I heard this name from Xu Rai. I thought it was some gentle, intellectual woman. No wonder he was so attentive to me. A whole family of perverts. Sang Yin smiled warmly, but his words were like sharp knives, dissecting my life experiences, cutting to the bone, carving me up bloody. I looked at his tailored suit, the expensive watch peeking out when he raised his hand, and his judging gaze. It felt like being back on that day when Wei Ming's family judged me, curled up in the corner, telling myself, I'm just a poor person without dignity. My stomach cramped with acid pain. I felt sick. I don't mean to offend. It's just that kid Xu Rai always makes people worry. I hope he can find a suitable partner for life. That kid won't turn back until he hits a wall. The more you advise him, the more rebellious he gets. So I had to talk to you directly. I get it. Xu Rui is his precious treasure, and I'm just grass on the roadside to be trampled. He thought I was used to this kind of treatment. He pulled out $1 million check, saying it was more than enough for my tuition. I could use it for things I like, instead of being broke like now. I looked down at my faded clothes and my worn-out backpack. Yeah, pretty broke, but I wouldn't steal Wei Ming's necklace. And I won't take Sang Yan's check either. Only you think that idiot you raised is irresistible, Mr. Sang. You really don't need to worry so much. From start to finish, I've never had the slightest interest in your precious Su Rui. Your whole damn family disgusts me. I hated Su Rui even more. His existence constantly reminded me of my own insignificance. I knew he liked me. But I was born poor, with a withdrawn personality, and had hidden disabilities others couldn't see. The only thing I had going for me was a face that looked like Tao Yufen's. I'm not Tao Yufen. I won't eat the forbidden fruit from Eden. But fate wouldn't let me go. One rainy night, I scraped a red sports car parked on the street. I was riding my used electric bike steadily, but suddenly got hit by another bike from the right, and crashed into the sports car. I tried my best to control it, but still left a deep scratch. The owner grabbed my collar, saying the damage would cost at least 200,000. But someone clearly hit me. On a road with no cameras, I couldn't prove my innocence. Chen Shu appeared. Like he timed it perfectly. I guess I had to give up my dignity again for my education. I looked up at the sky and shouted, "It's not like I asked to be born. Go after that man and Tao Yufen. Why won't you leave me alone?" No answer, just like every other time. I need to go to school. I need to make something of myself. It's just a broken body. What's wrong with letting people use it? I'd already kneeled twice. When I went to find Chen Shu, I saw him chummy with yesterday's car owner from afar. Their familiarity made me realize something was off. I laughed bitterly. Another rich person's little game. It was an elaborate scam that started when I stood by that photography exhibit, exploring the strange world of light beyond my gray existence. Back, I was only thinking about whether my broken used phone could take pictures that good, completely missing the greed flashing in Chen Shu's eyes. Damn rich people. Why do they mess with me? I won't let him get what he wants. I'll tell him I can sell myself, just not to him. After all, there's an idiot in my dorm who'd take the bait with just a little trick. I asked that idiot, "What do you want in exchange?" He said he just wanted to be my friend. Such BS. What's wrong with just saying you want to keep me? I'll wait until he says he wants to sleep with me. I'll wait. What does it feel like to be loved? I don't know. My dad doesn't want me. My mom wishes I was dead. As for grandpa and grandma who raised me, they didn't abandon me. But you can't say they love me much either. After all, even the nutrition supplements I bought them for holidays, they'd sneak over to the neighbors to eat behind my back. When I caught them, they awkwardly hid the cup with black sesame paste residue behind their backs. What does black sesame paste taste like? Don't know. Just like I don't know what it feels like to be loved wholeheartedly. I don't blame them. We're poor. I attributed Xu Rai's generosity to him not caring about money in his wealthy life. No wonder Tao Yufen was desperate to leave, like a rich person. It really is nice. Xu Rui is a snake, tempting me to eat the forbidden fruit from Eden. I enjoyed how Xu Rui kept looking at me. But he said we're just good friends. Annoying. For some reason, I was really unsatisfied with Xu Rui's answer. I wanted to hear him tell me he's crazy about me, that he can't live without me. At the class dinner, I deliberately sat far from him, deliberately flirted back with other girls. I opened my eyes wide, hoping he'd say he loved me, and secretly wondered what his expression would be when he saw my weird body. Disgust, curiosity, or something else. Anyway, Tao Yao is just roadside weeds that anyone can step on. Bah, he said, "You fool, I love you. I'll never abandon you." Men say such sweet things in bed. Is this how Tao Yufen got fooled too? Even my parents don't want me. Who are you to say you'll never abandon me? Whatever, let's just have sex. Stop saying these sweet things. I don't want to hear it anymore. Don't want to hear it. Walking home alone, I ran into two people arguing in the complex. Sang Yan and a woman who looked 70% like Xu Rui. From their conversation, I learned that was Xu Rui's sister Xu Hai. Don't you know that Tao Yao is some dancer's freak child? And he stole from classmates in high school. How can someone like that be with Rui Rai? Rui likes him. That's because he's innocent and can't tell good from bad. I met this Tao Yao before. I offered him money and he refused. But then he hooks up with Rui Rai in private. Clearly he has ulterior motives. If that day comes, I'll clean up after Rui. You don't need to worry. No way. I can't watch Rui get hurt. I still need to talk to that Tao Yao and see what his price is. Rich people are so arrogant. I stepped out of the shadows. You two don't need to worry. There was a little accident recently. Xu Rai helped me pay off the debt. So now we're basically in a When he gets tired of this body of mine, I'll get lost. For you too, crushing me would be like crushing an ant. Don't worry, I won't dare step out of line. I stopped looking at their stone, cold faces, and walked back to that house step by step. Shuri and I have no future. I know that. Not to mention his family's attitude. This was always a game Suruka could end anytime. Just like that man could throw a stack of cash at Tao Yufan Fen and tell her to get as far away as possible. At night, the desk lamp's weak light clearly showed Shurui's handsome nose and beautiful eyes. I turned to look at him. Couldn't help tracing with my finger. You're so lucky to have so many people who love you, but you have to be kind. When you don't like me anymore, don't curse me or hit me. Just tell me nicely. So that years later I can remember. I once met someone who really liked me. He took good care of me. Please. But this day came too soon. God really can't stand to see me have good days. How long has it been? My heart was churning, but I acted like nothing happened, telling myself, don't be too desperate. Joy Shurui's door slam was deafening. Tears couldn't help falling. Should I go try to win him back, or learn some new moves to make him stay a bit longer? Tao Tian, are you gonna be like Tao Yufan, kneeling before rich people, putting on a show? I slapped myself hard, my mouth filling with the taste of blood. No way. An unknown number called. I picked up. She said, I'm your mom, Tao Yufan. She was waiting for me in the parking garage, told me to come down. How could she be here? I didn't have time to think, quickly got up and ran downstairs. Under the dim garage lights, Tao Yufan looked especially thin, her hair messy, like a ghost. I'd only seen Tao Yufan a few times. In my blurry memory, she was an extremely beautiful figure. Not like now. Why did she suddenly show up? Before I could figure it out, big hands appeared from behind, dragged me into a silver old van, and tied up my hands and feet. Quanshu was all smiles. He said, I ran into your mom at school, looking for you. She owes money, and wants you to help pay her debts. I happen to be free, so I treated Auntie to dinner. Auntie told me lots of interesting things, like, you're into sex. He ran his hand down my stomach. Your mom sold you to me. I need to check the goods. He groped around, and the moment his finger went inside, he smiled with satisfaction. It's real, he said, sucking his finger and laughing loudly. Bros, today, we hit the jackpot. That's right. Tao Tian's life should be this rotten. He bit my ear. God knows how long I've wanted you. If I hadn't promised to let Wan go first, I'd take you right now. Wan, the owner of that sports car. Quanshu had tried to pursue me properly, but I didn't answer his calls, didn't reply to his texts, rejected him with a cold attitude. But he wasn't Shuru, wouldn't wait quietly by my side. Without a sound, with that obvious burning passion, I don't understand that. Why I think of Shuru when surrounded by wolves. Maybe I was a bit angry that when Tao Tian was about to start living like a dirty rag, Shuri still had a bright future ahead. He'd forget the promises he made in bed to never abandon me, fulfill his family's expectations and marry a gentle, virtuous wife, have a beautiful, lovely child together and live happily. Completely separate from Tao Tian's life, I wasn't expecting any kind of miracle. Until he burst in to save me. The closed valley suddenly opened wide, endless wind blowing in. I'll have to live. If possible, I'm willing to give everything for that. While Suri was unconscious, I was also ordered to stay in bed. Besides Shurai's sister and sister, I also met his father and brother. Truly a family, all cut from the same cloth. I could even picture what Shurai would look like at 30, at 60, but he probably wouldn't be as fake as them. His son almost died because of me, yet he treated me with such care, promising cars, houses, constantly telling me that, as long as I gave him a grandson, I could easily live like royalty. Also apologized to me and show sincerity. I looked up at him. He had gentle features, a pleasant voice too, but in his sincere apology was barely hidden contempt for me. Everything about someone like me can be measured in money. But someone like me, don't I have the right to truly love Shura? I forgot that even Xia Surui's family were those annoying rich people. I didn't want to answer their boring questions. Just quietly stared at the ceiling, waiting for the moment I'd see Shuri again. During this time, Shuhai stayed with me. She didn't talk much, occasionally went out to make calls. The rest of the time sat in the chair, by the window, staring outside in the days. Neither of us talking to each other. It was way more comfortable than all that fake concern. I couldn't help asking if I didn't like Song Yin. Would Shuri hate me? No. He'd probably just be secretly sad. She pulled out a pack of cigarettes and lighter from her pocket, shook out a cigarette, was about to light it when she seemed to remember something. Put the pack and lighter back in her pocket, just played with that unlit cigarette in her hand. She told me stories about Shuroi as a kid, like being diagnosed with mild intellectual disability at 5, like the loneliness and grief after losing his mother at 8, like defending Sang Yin despite grandpa's strong opposition, like trying to invest like his siblings but losing everything, like a mildly disabled kid working hard to get into college, and like how he'd give up his privileged life for me. Many people in this world are self-righteous, thinking they're well thought out choices are best for others. He's just mildly intellectually disabled, not some complete idiot who can't take care of himself. I think his choice is the best one. As for you, I just ask that you don't do anything to hurt him. So he really was a little fool. I shouldn't have made fun of him. Footsteps outside the door. I turned my head. My little fool was wrapped up like a mummy. Honey, his voice was shaky. Love really is the greatest magic in this world. It can instantly drive away my selfishness, narrow-mindedness, prejudice, and all my My little fool. I love you too. 3 years entry level, 3 years middle management, 3 years starting to handle the company's core business. Compared to naive, innocent Shuru, yeah, I was better suited for the unpredictable business world. My eyes couldn't hide their ambition. Things were different now. When I was going to Ying County to inspect a project, Shurui made a fuss about wanting to come with me. Work, everything's more important than me. He don't love me at all. After the baby was born, Shuri took on the responsibility of child care. So I could focus on studying and working, doing whatever I liked. When I really got busy, he regretted it, asking if I was gonna abandon him and run away after making lots of money, holding the kid and playing victim, wanting kisses, hugs, wanting me to comfort him. I said before I liked hearing him say he loves me, that he'd die without me. You've never taken me back to your hometown, never taken me to see your family. You just want to dump me anytime. How's that embarrassing? Eeks. Foot 3 muscular guy curled up on the couch, arms around his knees, head tilted, eyes red, sniffling. In our 12 years together, besides taking care of the kid, he spent all his time working out, muscles bulging everywhere. He was more charming than when he was 18 or 19. Handsome. I pulled Shuru's fuzzy head into my arms, fingers running through his short, coarse hair, rubbing back and forth. The stiff strands tickled my palm and made my heart itch even more. I'll take you, I coaxed. Yun County is my hometown. All these years, besides the steady 30,000 a month, plus covering my grandparents' medical expenses, I hadn't kept much contact with those relatives. They'd curse me over the phone as cold-hearted, ungrateful. My grandparents wanted more from me. Started guilt, tripping me, but I was just their investment in a promising stock. Wasn't the return rate agreed on beforehand? After Wei Ming framed me, I thought my grandparents knelt for me. Turns out they recognized Wei Ming's dad. That guy was a real troublemaker when he was young. Knowing Tao Yufan had bullied his sis, he brought a bunch of thugs to trash the house, threatening to burn the place down if Tao Yufan bullied his sister again. Seeing this scary guy again, they were terrified, went home, and took all their anger out on me. Saying Tao Yufan was trouble, and I was a troublemaker too, kept slapping my face. It was my fault, I admit it, but asking for more after I kept my promise, that's their fault. I never told Yurui about this, didn't want to tell him that besides him, nobody wanted me. Instead it became his hang-up. Before leaving, he bragged to our son, I'm taking your mom on a romantic getaway. After getting to Ying County, he looked at the dozen bodyguards behind us, all bummed out. Why'd you bring so many people? It's so awkward. Showing off his impressive biceps isn't having me protect you enough. He thought I brought these guys to protect me. I swatted away his flexed arm. Keep working out, not buff enough. It really was returning home in glory. They set up a big feast at home. Lots of unknown relatives came to say hi. Shuri smiled like an idiot. Your family's so welcoming. You should have brought me to visit sooner. I turned to look at the big yellow dog crouched on the steps, waiting for chicken bones to be thrown, slowly overlapping with a small figure. That kid had messy hair, clothes that didn't fit right. Hand-me-downs from who knows who, holding a chipped bowl bigger than his face, watching the table, hopefully like that yellow dog, waiting for them to throw something over. If I'd come earlier, I'd probably be crouched on those steps too. Wouldn't get a seat at the main table. I grabbed a big drumstick from the table and threw it to that yellow dog who'd been waiting. Eat up, little dog. When we were leaving, Shuri pointed toward the village entrance. There's someone there, mumbling something. Looks kinda pitiful. Tian. It's crazy Tao Yufan. Back then Xu Hai asked me how to handle Tao Yufan. She was making noise in prison wanting to see me, hoping I could beg the Xu family, spend some money to pull strings, and get her out of prison. Can it be done? I asked Xu Hai. There's room to maneuver, then I want maximum punishment. Xu Hai didn't waste words, made Tao Yufan serve 8 years inside. After getting out she went back to her old ways, caught all kinds of diseases. Her brain got fried too. My grandparents called asking how to handle her. I said, let her fend for herself. But Xu Rui doesn't know any of this, and doesn't need to know. I turned to look at him, a 30-year-old man, wearing a pure smile, curiously watching the mountains, rivers, and villages flying past the car window. I put my hand in his palm. That comforting warmth spread from my palm through my whole body, driving away the gloom. Peach blossoms bloom brilliantly